All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's stream. Today, we're going to talk about how to become a senior data engineer. We have been talking about this topic for 2 streams now, and let's do the third one, which is the final one. It's like I collected a lot of things. If you have missed the other 2, look at my YouTube channel where you find the other 2 videos. But most likely I'm also going to make a supercut out of this because I think we're already 2 hours in and we need to go for a third hour here. So, yeah, hi everybody. Welcome. Do me a favor, say quick hi in the chat to see if everything works, that you can hear me well. And then we're going to start. Hope everything's good with you. Can you hear me? Yes. John says hi. Hi. Okay, YouTube works. I think LinkedIn works as well. Yep. Okay. So what we have been talking about in the last 2 videos was we were talking about the overall topics, and then we dove deeper into the important topics, which I grayed out sometimes. And basically the important stuff is advanced data modeling and architecture, big data technologies like frameworks and so on to process large amounts of data, advanced ETL technologies, data warehousing and data lakes, cloud computing, real-time data processing, and then also coding. Of course, coding is a big topic also for the senior engineers. Then what I found very important, compliance and governance, which they're closely connected, to basically figure out, are we allowed to process that data, and what can we do with the data, and so on and so on. And we were talking about data security, and now today is about leadership and communication, which is a big topic for a senior engineer, because as a senior engineer, you are going to work not only for yourself on a topic and like a developer and do it, but it's also you need to work together with a team, maybe with your team, with other people within the company, with stakeholders from the business side, and so on. So leadership communication is a super important topic. And in this topic, we have a few subtopics like team management, project management, collaboration, problem solving, strategic thinking, communication, and leadership. So these are all the important topics that we're going to touch on today. Let me quickly, actually totally forget to bring up my cheat sheet, because I have a cheat sheet on this. Where is it? I'm not very well prepared. I'm sorry. One sec. Where is it? Oh no, I can't find it. Shit. Okay, here we are. Because I made a big document with all the text, because as I said before, ChatGPT is the basis of this. So I want to see what ChatGPT said in this, and I want to read this also to you so we can discuss this, right? Leadership, the whole leadership topic was ChatGPT said, leadership, a senior data engineer should be able to lead by example, set a positive tone for the team, and inspire team members to excel. So as you can already see, leadership is really, it's a skill that is outgoing, that is helping others, connecting with others, communicating with others. Maybe in your daily work, when you work with your team lead, with senior staff, you already experience this, that these people usually are very care a lot about your stuff, care a lot about communication and collaboration and stuff. Right? So the first thing that we have here, by the way, if you have any questions, put the questions in the chat. I'm here to answer your questions whenever you find this needs some clarification, or you have some ideas or experience. Let me know. We're going to talk about it. So the first thing that we had here was actually it's like here was team management. A senior data engineer should be able to manage a team of data engineers, set priorities, delegate tasks, and provide feedback to team members. Okay. So especially that was something I was working a lot on when I was a team lead, because this is like, team management is very important, especially the first part here, setting goals and objectives, because the team needs to know what they're working on, towards what their goals are they working. So setting goals and objectives was here. A senior data engineer should be able to set clear goals and objectives for the team that align with business objectives and can be measured, which is a topic that a lot of people mess up. They set goals which are not really measurable. Like, always try to associate a number with a goal and a deadline. That's very, very important. This way you can measure, did we reach what we wanted to do, and did we do it in the time, or is the time getting are we getting short? No, are we getting close to the deadline, and we need to do something? So then from there, once the objectives are clear, especially as a team lead, you need to work on delegating tasks to your team, to the team members that are maybe specialized for some tasks. ChatGPT said here, a senior data engineer should be able to delegate tasks to team members based on their strengths and provide guidance and support as needed. Exactly what I said. Like, you know the people, you know their strengths, you know what they can do best and what they can do quickly. And this way you need to give them the objectives of the tasks and help them with support, which is an interesting part whenever you leave the specialist role and go more, or the professional role, and go more into the senior roles or team lead roles. It's less of a doing job and more of a helping job, helping others excel. So super interesting. Quick question here from Gustavo. Gustavo says, I'm new in this field. What is data governance and data compliance in general? So in general, okay, let's quickly go through this, as you can figure this out this way. Governance is more towards how are we using the data and who is allowed to do what with the data. So it's about data lineage, is about figuring out what data is sensitive and should not be available for everybody. Is figuring out the data quality and keeping the data quality in check. Data access and authorization, as I said. How long are we keeping the data, and privacy stuff with data like GDPR, or the I always forget how the US pendant to this is, and also data security and encryption, that's generally the governance part, and the compliance, that is in a very legal term, like regulatory stuff. What are we able to do with the data? How do we need to dispose the data? Are there some data retention limits that from a legal side that we only allow to keep that data as long as we need it for the main use case, and only for 6 months, or stuff like that? It's also about auditing, reporting, right? And monitoring and detecting data breaches, stuff like that. These are the compliance and data governance. Two very, very important topics, which I've spent a lot of time with before. So, then let's get back to team management, providing feedback. We had here and developing team members. That's already a lot connected, because with your feedback, the individuals in the team can grow. What did it say here? Senior engineers should be able to provide constructive feedback to team members on their performance and helping them improve their skills. And it's already there, already improving skills, already towards developing team members, which it says here, senior data engineers should be able to identify the strengths and weaknesses of team members and provide training and development opportunities to help them grow and develop, which, these two are very closely aligned here. Let me put an arrow here. These are very closely aligned, because without providing constructive and good feedback, you cannot develop people. Managing team performance is also something that fits very closely to the first part, right? To the setting the objectives. So you can actually monitor this or manage this. What does it say here? Senior data should be able to monitor team performance, identify areas of improvement, and take corrective actions as needed. So if your team has problems with the performance, what would be an example for this? What would be a good example for team performance? Because the next thing is culture. So, performance, I would say this is geared towards the actual technical performance, the performance of being able to basically here reach the goals and fulfill the objectives. That's how I think this fits here. Building team culture, that is more of a senior engineer should be able to create a positive team culture that encourages collaboration, innovation, and continuous learning. So, yeah, as it's a lot with the team. Team needs to have a culture, needs to have and if it's only communication culture that everybody listens to the others and acts in a very professional way and is friendly and doesn't turn down ideas immediately and stuff like that. Also, the last part here, which is part of managing team performance, building the team, managing conflicts. You always have conflicts in the team, especially in larger teams. Sometimes people don't like each other. Sometimes people are not happy with the performance of others. Sometimes it's discrepancies of whose goal, or is the goal reached or not? Is this good work? Is this not good work? Like that kind of stuff. You need to manage the conflict. Sometimes there are conflicts with outside. Sometimes there are conflicts with outside team members, not directly that are in your team, but like people from the business or something, right? So there are conflicts with these people, and you need to help them manage this. A senior data engineer should be able to identify and manage conflicts within the team and help team members resolve issues in a constructive manner, it said here. Absolutely agree. Then we come to project management, which is, right, project management is something when you become a senior, when you become an architect, a team lead, you immediately always have to work on project management because you're leading the team. You need to work also on the project. So that includes planning, budgeting, resource management, risk management, quality management, communication, change management, right? And all very important topics. So planning, it said here, senior data engineer should be able to create a detailed project plan that outlines the scope of the project, timelines, and milestones, right? That is very important towards the team management, towards setting the goals and the objectives. And yeah, you need to be able to create a project plan in this. And also budgeting is very important, because that is closely aligned to the project plan. This is the thing that you want to do. You have that amount of budget. How can we actually solve that with that budget, and also keep the costs within, or not only keep the costs within the amount that is that you've given, but also monitor the costs over time, usually. So budgeting, it said here, senior engineers should be able to create and manage a project budget, right? And ensure that the costs are kept within the budget. Absolutely. Is that perfect? That's a big thing. When people ask me, how do you solve this or that? How do you create a pipeline for this? How do you process this the best? You always have to keep in mind, what is your goals? What is your budget? And then you need to create these things here. You need to create a project plan. You need to create milestones, and you need to try to handle your budget. And that's also where resource management comes in, because senior engineers should be able to manage resources, including people, time, and technology, to ensure that the project is delivered on time within the budget, right? So that is resource management is connected to what we had before. Managing team performance is connected to the goals, and it's needed to make the project a success. Risk management is also a big topic. Whenever you start with the project, hopefully you create a you do risk management, you create a plan for risk management where you write down all the risks. How severe are they? How can you mitigate the risks? Super important. What did it say here? A senior data engineer should be able to identify potential risks that may impact the project and develop contingency plans to mitigate those risks. Yeah. Quality management, again, connected to team performance, connected to the objectives. Senior engineers should be able to ensure that the project meets the required quality standards and that deliverables are thoroughly tested and validated, which is, right? We all know how it is sometimes. We have to deliver something quick, and then we only test this and that and not all the options, which is where actually risk management comes into play here, right? Because then only after the risk management, you know what to test. The testing and the validation, sometimes because we don't have the time, but it's not a good idea. Communication, didn't we have communication here? No, not yet. Senior engineers should be able to communicate effectively with stakeholders, including project sponsors, team members, and other stakeholders, to keep them informed of project progress and ensure that the expectations are managed. Which is that is a big point for a senior engineer, a team lead. Get in touch with everybody that takes a part of the project, not only the immediate team members, but also a sponsor who will most likely give you the money for this, but also the other people from the business who are directly involved and who you are going to help build the infrastructure for, build the pipelines, get them the data so they can do their work. Change management. A senior data engineer should be able to manage changes to the project scope, timeline, budget, and ensure that stakeholders are informed and necessary adjustments are made. Change management is a big flexibility thing, right? Yes, you can build here in the early stages with planning and setting goals and budgeting. You can build the nicest plans, and after half a year, whenever you're almost finished, somebody comes with a very important thing that needs to be added, then you need to be flexible. Also, sometimes very small things that are maybe in a that are in your specification need to be changed here and there, and then you need to be flexible. Can we realize this? How much longer does this take? Is this even quicker? Does this take more money to figure out and to realize? It's always change management or managing change is a big topic. Ah, look here, communication comes back here in the next step here. So we're team management, project management, collaboration. We already had here, right? We had communication, which is very closely to collaboration. And what did it say for before we go into collaboration? Your post on Twitter is helpful for me. I don't actually know which one, Tushar, which one you mean. Maybe you can write a bit more about this. I'm not sure. What do you mean? So for collaboration, the topic was a senior data engineer should be able to collaborate effectively with other teams such as scientists, business analysts, senior engineers, senior software engineers, and be able to communicate technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. Right? What they didn't mention here was the business side, but yes, as a senior engineer, you're not only communicating with other engineers. There are other people that you are going to communicate with. And they really said it here nicely. Data scientists, which are going to analyze the data, or business analysts, they're going to work with your data, but as well as software engineers or platform engineers or database administrators on the other side that get you the data, and you need to work with it and then give it to the analysts, to the people who are analyzing and working with the data. So that's very, very important. And for that, there are a few things that you can use here. One is active listening. Like a senior engineer should be able to listen actively and understand the viewpoints of others and seek to understand their perspectives. Not that you only think from your perspective. Has a lot to do with empathy and trying to look at problems from the eyes of other people and their perspective. Maybe their situation that they're in. Teamwork, of course, collaboration is all about teamwork. We need to do a lot of teamwork. Senior engineers should be able to work effectively with others, collaborate with team members to achieve common goals. You see, this is a lot of collaboration, communication, working with others. And maybe that is something that a lot of people don't realize, that not just because you're not going to become a senior engineer or get senior role or team lead roles because you're working in a job for 10 years, be an engineer for 10 years. You maybe are lacking the leadership parts here, the collaboration, the communication, you may be lacking the leadership and the communication part of your job. I need to first improve on these. But hopefully you have a good team lead, you have a good people that are actually helping you here in the team management part and provide you with good feedback and help you develop yourself. Right? Flexibility. I'm not going to go over flexibility. I think we already talked about this in change management. Let me make a quick connection here that is closely aligned with change management, actually. And then conflict resolution, which we were also talking about here, managing conflicts. And let's do it like this. And empathy. Yeah. let me just quickly read. Conflict resolution, it said, or flexibility was should adapt to changes, be flexible in their approach, and be willing to modify their strategies to plan as needed. Right? Conflict resolution is able to resolve conflicts in a constructive manner and find common ground with others to resolve the issues. Right? That is connected to looking at problems from others, people's perspectives, what they might think, what their situation right now is. And empathy should be able to understand and appreciate the feelings and perspectives of others and build relationships based on trust and respect. Super important. Again, then we have communication, express ideas, communicate. A senior data engineer should be able to communicate effectively with others and express their ideas and opinions clearly and succinctly. I don't know what succinctly means. Like, you need to be clear and straightforward with your ideas and share them willingly. It's super important topic that you need to look at. And then we have here cross-functional collaboration. I think we already were talking about this before, that you have other roles where you're, I think that was here very closely connected to teamwork. All right. What did it say here? Senior engineers should be able to communicate, to collaborate effectively with colleagues from other departments such as analysts, business analysts, developers, to deliver successful projects. I think pretty straightforward. So how many do we have? We have 4 more left. Let's quickly do a quick round. Something interesting here, something you wanna know about this, something you experienced. I'm going to take a sip here, and then we're going to power through this. I think it's very interesting and that ChatGPT actually prepared this in this manner, because these are topics we all struggle with. You might see this from your perspective as a not senior person, how senior people are acting. Super interesting. What did we have? Problem solving. Problem solving is, well, generally it's also a topic for the normal data engineer, right? For the professional, not only for senior people. But let's quickly look at what did it say here? Analytical thinking. No, what? Problem solving. Senior data engineers should be able to identify and solve complex data engineering problems and be able to make decisions based on data-driven insights. Right? So analytical thinking is data engineers should be able to think critically and analytically to identify the root cause of complex problems, which is not always that easy. Sometimes you look at problems and they seem very easy or super hard, and to get to that root cause of the problem is sometimes a very big deal. And sometimes it needs a senior engineer with the experience of having worked with all these kind of systems, of having the architecture knowledge of what could be a problem here, how is this set up and what could be a problem. Creative thinking, senior engineers should be able to think creatively and develop innovative solutions to complex problems. Right? So problem solving a lot with solution oriented, creative thinking, attention to detail, system thinking. We already had that actually here. The senior data engineer should be able to view problems as part of a larger system and consider how changes in one area may impact other areas, which can be a real problem, right? Can be very difficult. You think, I'm going to make a solution here. It's going to be very simple. It's not a big deal, but 2 steps down the line, or from somebody else who's using your data, you're creating problems. So that is very important. Data analysis, senior engineer, which is, where are we here? Here. Senior engineer should be able to analyze data to identify patterns and trends that may be contributing to problems. That is something pretty standard, right? Where you need to go in and you need to try to figure out, okay, how can I measure this? How can I figure out problems early? You need to analyze data, usually metrics, maybe metrics that you create on your own, from your own pipeline, where you write stuff into logs and then analyze these logs and stuff. So that is a very important topic. And then, of course, decision making based on these decisions. Senior engineers should be able to make decisions quickly and confidentially based on data and analysis. So I know it's a big problem in a lot of companies where people actually are unable to make decisions. Sometimes they're afraid of making the decision and then be blamed for it. So making decisions quickly and be confident about the decisions, that is something. Of course, for that you need a lot of stuff, right? You need to have these earlier things like advanced modeling, ETL experience, cloud experience, real-time processing experience, and so on and so on and so on, to be able to actually then make the right decisions and be confident about your decisions. I mean, that's how it is. And then we have troubleshooting. Senior engineers should be able to troubleshoot complex data-related problems using a systematic approach to identify and resolve solutions. I think for me, this is something also an engineer, not a senior person, needs to be able to do. So, then we have strategic thinking. Strategic thinking here was more towards senior engineers should be able to think strategically about data engineering and be able to align data engineering efforts with business goals and objectives. Right? That you're not only thinking in technology, but you're thinking in, okay, what is required from the business? Why are we doing this? What are the goals? How can this help us maybe 2-3 years down the road and not just today? So super important visionary thinking. It's visionary doesn't need to be like, when we hear visionary thinking, we very often think about the Elon Musks and the visionaries who created the iPhone and like stuff like Steve Jobs. And everybody can do this on their level, in their job as a team lead or as a senior engineer, or also as an engineer, because you can then advise others, share your ideas with the leadership, and maybe they see something interesting in it and they can actually realize, make that, they can realize what you want, what your idea is. Business acumen. Senior engineers should be able to understand the business needs of the organization and how engineering can contribute to achieving these goals. Yes. Systems thinking, we were already talking about. Analytical thinking. Should be able to analyze complex data and use insights to make informed decisions with organization's strategic goals. Didn't we just have this? I don't know. Hey, hello, Facundo. So then we have risk management. Risk management we already had. We had that above here. So let's just grade this out. Innovation. Senior engineers should be able to identify innovative solutions, complex problems, and propose new ideas to improve data engineering processes. So innovation doesn't need to be like that big deal and innovate the whole industry, but it can also be a small part where you come into a company, you're working in a team, you start working in a team, and you figure out, okay, what we're doing here is not really perfect. We have a lot of problems here. Let's try to innovate this. Let's try to maybe use a different tool or a different approach for this. Super important. Then we have collaboration again, which we already had. Didn't we? Where's collaboration here? We already had cross-functional collaboration. So just create this out here. Active listening we already also had. Clear, concise communication is for communication very important. What did it say here? To be able to communicate effectively with both technical and non-technical stakeholders and be able to explain technical concepts in simple terms. Yeah, clear, concise communication, presentation skills. Presentation skills is actually something a lot of people lack because they make it too complicated. They make it not understandable for people without the background of the engineering. So senior engineers should be able to create and deliver compelling presentations that effectively communicate technical information to a wide range of audiences, right? If communicate effectively technical information to non-technical people or to a wider audience. Super important. Technical writing is also, you need to be able to document your stuff, to create project documentation, to create helper documents and so on. So technical documents are very important. Should be able to write technical documentation that is clear, concise, easily understandable for both technical and non-technical. Persuasion, that you be able to persuade stakeholders to adopt new technologies or processes that it will improve the organization's capabilities. Empathy we already had. Let's gray this out. Conflict resolution we also had. And then we get to the last one. You might wonder why I'm hurrying so much. I have actually a meeting in 20 minutes and I want to get this done here. I want to have this done first, and maybe that we have 5 minutes more to quickly talk about a few questions, or 10 minutes. So, and then we have leadership. Leadership, it's strange that it's here the last point when it's standing here at the first part, right? So visionary thinking, we had that before. What does it say here? Should have clear vision, organization, capabilities, be able to communicate the vision with the team. Let's grade this out here. Strategic thinking, talent development, decision making, emotional. I think that we could basically remove from here, because this was all packaged in the others. Basically, strategic thinking here, it did say should be able to align data engineering initiatives with the organization's strategic goals. Okay, we could keep that. Team building, a senior engineer should be able to build and manage high-performing teams and provide coaching and feedback to members. Yes, talent development, we were talking about this in the first, get good feedback, help people grow. Decision-making, smart decision-making, should be able to make informed decisions based on stakeholder input. Emotional intelligence, high emotional intelligence, and engineers should be able to understand and manage their own emotions as well as those of the team members, which can be difficult, right? We are not robots. We all have our emotions, and I struggled with that before myself. So you always have the hot heads in the company or in the team who maybe are a bit difficult, so you need to try to tame the emotions. And influence here. Engineers should be able to influence stakeholders to adopt engineering best practices, support initiatives, and align with the organization's goals. All right. And that was basically it. That was everything in this. We were talking about advanced modeling, big data technologies, advanced ETL, warehousing, cloud computing, real-time processing, programming and scripting, governance and compliance, data security, and leadership. And now with these 3 videos, we have everything covered. All is there. I'm going to use this document. I'm going to try to make this a bit better, and then I'm going to share this with you. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to share this, either directly on LinkedIn or make it available as a download on Google Drive or something. I'm going to figure it out and have this for you. Yeah. Quick questions? Somebody? Or should we just make a cap here? Was this helpful? Was there somebody who actually watched all 3 of the videos now? Or is this the first one here for you? Was this helpful? Give me a bit of a feedback. How did you like this? I still see a few people on YouTube and on LinkedIn. So put in the chat, how did you like this? This whole series? Was this helpful for you? Was this interesting? Would be super valuable for me to know. So let me know in the chat. I'm going to stay on for 5-10 more minutes, so we can talk about a few things. While it's raining again outside. It's in Germany, it's terrible. It's terrible. Just rain, cold. Gustavo, I learned a lot from YouTube videos. Thanks, Gustavo. That's why I'm doing these. I particularly like these live streams. I know I could have recorded this and then, but I think having you be able to watch this and communicate with me directly here is always beneficial. And why should I just sit here by myself? 2 of them, Santiago, cool, very cool. And I think all your material is great. Thanks. As always, we should come across learn data sooner. Thanks, Santiago. Yeah, that's why I do it for. Let me quickly plug my, if you think, oh, how could I become a data engineer? How can I learn data engineering? And you're new here, what you can do is you can actually go to my academy, go to learndataengineering.com, and there I have everything you need from beginners to also senior people to professional data engineers, data scientists who want to get into engineering because they need it. I have a full academy with many courses and hours, over 40 hours of I think over 45 right now of video content. But if you want to start small, you can also check out our Python for Data Engineers training. It's a 2.5 hours training on the most important thing for data engineers in Python. So with the Academy, again, I have a huge catalog from the basics, platform pipeline design, fundamental tools, through full example projects that you can do. Everything is hands-on, except the platform and pipeline design stuff that is very difficult to do. Or let's say that's a lot of theory that you need to know, need to have heard. But otherwise, super interesting. So a lot of stuff there. I recently added a successful job application course for data engineers. So this way you get tips. I think it's a 2.5 hour course. So you can get tips on what you need to do to become a data engineer or find a data engineer job. We have every other week, we do office hours. We have a private Discord server. If you want to check out the full curriculum, you can do that here and download this. If you want to let me quickly look at something. I think that's on the main page. If you want to quickly learn something about data engineering, you can also look here. I created a free skills and tools guide that you can download. It's a 20-page guide that already gives you a lot of information about which tools we use, what skills do you need, and about show you a few example projects from the Academy, what a typical data engineer does and how typical projects are going to look. Yeah. All right. So, and with that, I don't see a lot of questions here. With that, we're going to finish for today. I hope you had a lot of fun. I'm going to be here tomorrow again, same time. Tomorrow, we're most likely going to talk about big data, which I'm not a super fan anymore about. And then we're off for the weekend, right? We're already Friday into the weekend. And then we're meeting again next Monday. Same time, I'm going to stream every day, 4 p.m. and show you the latest and greatest. If you want to get in touch with me, if you have interesting stuff to share, you can also check out our Discord server here with the link on my website, Discord. And this leads you to our Discord server with over 1,000 people where you can put in your questions, put in interesting stuff for me to look at and to react to and help you out. All right, everybody, have a good one. I hope you had fun. See you next time.